Okay. 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 I don't know why I keep saying okay. I should be saying, my head's fucking cold, man. But I feel like I don't know. I'll take that off for now. I should be saying hello. I keep saying okay. Here we go. People jumping on here. A few people with their demands. They've got a list of demands. Give me this, give me that, give me. A few of you are just waving. Ooh, coming in hot. Appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. A lot of y'all on here already. Amazing. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Lots of questions already. Great. I want nothing. Robert TW_Sinclair. Good to see you. Thank you for saying that. Everyone wants stuff. Everyone wants stuff. Okay. I'll wait another minute. Hope everyone's doing okay. All right. Well, I'll have to say, people are jumping on really quick. It usually trickles in. Tolijas, I don't know who you are, but yo, what's up? Yo, Sherman D. Okay, cool. All right, we got a lot of people on here. Great. Okay. Elijah Lewis Thomas, you got the catalog you ordered in Wales. That's great. And the mail actually, the post office, at least the United States Post Office, takes quite the beating. But I have to say, my recent experience has been quite good. I think in recent years they've had to start getting better at competing with Federal Express and UPS, and it's been a good thing. Anyway, I will scroll back through, and I'll scroll back through. There's a bunch of comments and questions and stuff here. I can't get to all of them. I want to get through what I want to get through today, and not ramble on too much. Anyway. I've got unfinished stuff going on, lots of unfinished things going on in the studio and some surprises and all that, but I can't get into all that right now. I want to take care of a little business and then get on with my chit chat. What is that? Okay, that's an old one. Okay, first thing I want to talk to you about is take care of a little business, and then I'll talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you about today, okay? First thing is, I have got a brand new print. I'm going to show it to you. It's available on the available prints page on my website. If you go to howardsherman.com and click on available prints, the painting of this is called Naked People Holding Guns. It's about 100 inches by 80 inches, I think. The actual painting is gigantic. I showed it a couple of years ago at an exhibition in Dallas. Anyway, this is 12 inches by 9 inches. You can kind of tell when I hold it up in my hand. Here it is in my hand, so you can kind of tell the size of it, right? There aren't that many of these, and they're actually selling pretty quickly, which is great. So if you want one, you better jump on it quick. It's a brand new print. Limited edition hand-signed print. I've also got a few of these little catalogs still, people are just grabbing those quickly. Those are on the shop page of the website. You just got to click on the image. Looks just like this. It's called catalog. And if you go to the shop page at howardsherman.com, you can find that. Anyway, and these are $10 US. There are not that many left. They're going really quickly, which is exciting. but you might want to get one quickly because those are going to be gone. They obviously are less expensive than the prints. Anyway, I hope you visit the website and that you, let me turn around. I got so busy talking and thinking about what I was going to say. I'm just I'm pointing the phone off into space. Okay. Listen, I know I've been doing this during the whole pandemic, which is now, what are we in, 9 months of this? I by no means claim to be a professional when it comes to holding the camera or getting the best lighting. And quite frankly, I have no doubt there's this perpetual blinding glare coming off my head, which some of the ladies seem to like. But nonetheless, I know that's not a pro move. But I'm here more for the information and less for the fashion. So I think that most of y'all will get that as I proceed forward. Okay, enough of taking care of the business, the prints, the catalogs. I do want to remind you, I did post last week's video on my website. If you go to the howardsherman.com, you can find live from the studio. You can find all of these videos. I have not organized them or indexed them, but a lot of the questions that you ask the information can be found in those videos. If you want to drill through it, they are there. Everything I've talked about is there, and hopefully it will help you. So, having said that, today, the topic of today's lecture is called Be in the Now. So what happened was the other day, I was walking through a new museum. The Museum of Fine Arts Houston has a Kinder building, a brand new building that has been written about in maybe even the international press, but certainly the national press, as the largest, maybe one of the most expensive institutions to appear in the United States in the last 10 years. And I've read about it a little bit, listened to a podcast about it, and I rushed through 2 of the 3 floors of it the other day with another artist friend of mine. Anyway, I'll certainly be going back a bunch because it's in my neighborhood and there's a lot I'm not going to get into all of my thoughts and feelings about it, but I didn't get through the whole thing. I just got a taste of it. I will be going back often because that's what I do, especially when it's one of the few places that's open that I can go to. But there's a lot to see, and there'll probably be people flying in from all over the world to spend time there for one reason or another. It's a very expensive building, and there's a lot of work to see in it that's quite impressive. But not to get into all that, I'm rambling. Apologies. What I want to talk to you about is I couldn't get over, as I spent time in the building, how retro it felt. It feels a little bit like the Guggenheim in New York City. If you've been there, very famous institution, very famous building. There's a Guggenheim-y feel. It feels very retro. The floors feel retro. The design feels retro. And I kept wondering why. Why is that? I actually don't like that. I know some people do. In fact, my friend who I was with doesn't have a problem with that. I've always had kind of a problem with that. But I'm wondering why. Why does it feel retro? Why do these things feel retro? Why do we crave retro? Why is that incorporated into so much style and art and fashion and this and that? And one of the things that dawned on me as I thought about this was we crave this because it's comfortable. We crave this because it's comfortable. Okay? And that bothers me. I think that it's important to be informed about art history and to know about the past and somehow incorporate those things into what you're making. And I'm certainly a big proponent of this. I talk about it all the time. It's evident in my work. But I think that there's a point where things get so retro, it's like bad comfort food. It's like fast food when you should be eating healthy food, for lack of a better analogy. And forgive me as I review my notes. I write notes for y'all. I write notes. But anyway, I find that this notion sort of bothers me, and I feel as though while you should know art history and you should be informed about the past so that you don't repeat it and that you learn from it, you should strive to go beyond it. So if you're an artist out there watching this, not even if you're an artist, if you're an accountant or a stripper or a hooker or whatever you are, do not make comfortable things. You should strive not to make comfortable things. You have to remember that all art was once contemporary art, and that's me sort of paraphrasing it. That's me paraphrasing an idea from the Salt's book that I've mentioned many a times before that you should read. But I think all work was once in conversation with its time. Or not once was, is. All art is in conversation with its time. And your art or whatever you're doing should also be in conversation with its time and not overly dependent on something that feels comfortable from the past. You're making art for now. You're not making art for the past. You're not making art for the future. You're making art for now. I'll repeat it one more time. What you make, hell, even if you're an accountant, I don't care, ditch digger, whatever, you're doing it for now, okay? Maybe not ditch digger, but you know what I mean. I think it's important to just forget about nostalgia at some point and just be in the visceral present with what you're making now. That's very important, what I just said. And I think that you should work with total urgency, and you should pay attention to the now, because that's that's the conversation you're a part of. Those are the people you're dialoguing with, right? Am I right? Many of you, think about this. Look at what you're making. I know there's some artists on here who are trying to figure out how to be a big shot or whatever, or just sell a lot of stuff because they want to make a lot of money. And I'm not against any of that. I'm not begrudging any of that. I'm in the hustle myself. But ask yourself: are you making something that's just nostalgic? Are you preoccupied with something that's comfortable that might be that might just be selling, or are you trying to bring something new into the conversation that's personal and intimate? And the real gut check would be is if you've gotten to the point where what you make is just so nostalgic you don't even realize it. What does that say about you? What does that say about what you're looking at? What does that say about what you're reading? What does that say about what you're thinking and feeling and who you're talking to? So that's kind of it. That's my be in the now spiel, and that's it for that. I will I'll take a couple of questions, comments, thoughts. Thank you for those of you who emailed me questions this week. Keep them coming. And if I think I can use them, I'll use them. Clear water, Saran. Okay, I should scroll back through. I'm going to sit here for a second. Let me scroll back through and see if I see some. There were a bunch of things earlier on. Some of these I can't really get into. Why'd I cut my hair? Hey, Elijah Lewis Thomas, if you feel, throw up a Instagram story with the holding up the catalog if you feel like it. Oh. Questions. A lot of people just waving. Don't be boring. Send me a good question. My God, it's just like this relentless wave. The easiest thing in the world. Okay, Han01011010. Who is the public you're making your art for? That's a good question. I think that first and foremost, I'm making things for myself, and then what I've realized is who the public is. After I started out trying to do something that pleased, am I trying to please myself? Maybe I trying to satisfy myself? Definitely. They're not always the exact same thing. Then after that, who am I making it for? What public am I making it for? You know what's interesting is that quote unquote public has changed quite a bit over the years. So, and what I'm realizing now more than before is my public has become a little bit more niche or specific based on people who are interested in the specific thing that I do. Not a really good, pretty vague answer to a pretty vague question. Knowing your audience is important, and sometimes it comes through just the work, making the work. Maybe I'll do a talk about that, knowing your audience. I don't know. Oil and charcoal, you nailed it. Get out and see stuff, put on a mask, and safely see things. If you can see things in person, that's important. I've actually found that most galleries and museums that I've bopped around to over the course of the pandemic, I felt pretty safe in, just with a mask on and just plenty of space. So, and they actually seem to be very on top of that sort of thing too. So I don't feel like I'm in a crowded room with a bunch of mouth-breathing super spreaders. Fuck, maybe I'm a mouth-breathing super spreader. I don't even know it. But, no, I don't think I am. But, there's other venues that I'd feel more, I'd be more wary of. Paul.gels, follow me. I've been doing them every Wednesday. And check the posts. Or actually, even better, get on my email list. If you really want to stay on top of things, you should join my email list. Go to my website, click on, there's a link on my Instagram profile that'll take you to the email thing. You will subscribe and hit the black button. Kyle C. Hunt, process always changes. I guess I do both. Lots of questions. Wow. It's taking me a while to read through these. There's a question on here that relates to an email I got. People... Okay, there's a lot of people out there that are very anxious about the pandemic and afraid and freaking out because they've been in isolation, and also asking about how they should work. And essentially you're asking me you want me to tell you how to make your work, and I'm not going to tell you how to make your work. You need to fucking do the work. Make the fucking work, and you're going to figure out what turns you on and what doesn't turn you on and how you want to use materials. It's all about getting to know yourself, Do you know yourself? Do you spend time with yourself? Do you take a walk in nature by yourself and learn about yourself? Don't stop copying me, know yourself. Get out there and the only way you're going to know yourself is if you spend time with yourself and you get out there and live life, whether it's a pandemic or not. There's so many people on here, and I bet you some of you aren't fucking little kids either. You're fully formed grown adults, and don't let your fear get in the way. It just makes me crazy. Everyone wants me to tell them how to live their life, and you got to live your life in order to figure out how you want to make your fucking work. I mean, just don't be a pussy. Okay, it's a public Twitter. Ross Auger, yes. You do have to, sometimes I feel like I have to push myself and to do everything. Okay, Paul.guys, I'm not in this field, but isn't the importance of knowing your audience kind of opposite of not making nostalgic art? I don't really know. I think it's important to make art that is of the now, like I was talking about earlier, that's not overly nostalgic, and I think that your audience will gravitate towards that and unveil itself. And I think that, any other questions? There's a lot of things on here that I just cannot get into because there are people wanting personal advice and that's specific to them, and I can't do that on here. And anyway, if you want to talk one-on-one, like I've said before, you can send me an email about individual critiques, and maybe we can make some time for that. Any other questions that would be helpful to everybody else? And not just, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Some of you, maybe some people should go in the military. Don't they tell you what to do in the military? Like what time to get up and what time to brush your teeth and what to call yourself and all that kind of crap? Anyone else? Okay. Well, I hope I was helpful, even though I kind of fucking lost it there for a second. But I think that whole discussion that I said in the middle about being in the now is a helpful point for many of you, and I think that you should give that some thought. Boba _vet. So glad I don't have to deal with that military BS anymore. I wouldn't know anything about it, but I'm sure they say that all the discipline they teach you is helpful, and I agree that discipline equals freedom. So before I go and try and get it together for the rest of my day, I want to remind y'all to grab a print before they're all gone, and grab a catalog before they're all gone. And I think that's going to be it for today. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you later. If you have any other thoughts or questions or comments, send me an email. Not DMs on Instagram, but an email. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.